Is that your spoon?
I don't do that shit.
So, we're here waiting for Ronnie to finish his tea
Yeah,
because
her.
it's tea break, apparently. I'm not sure what's going on, but I just had to go out there and make him some tea.
Yeah, you did, and I ain't gonna deny it, cause I'm a ride. You didn't have with me. But nah, I drink tea. I like to take care of myself. I like to take care of my health, my wellness, my well being. I don't know about y'all, but doing it makes you feel a little bit bad about yourself.
Why do you drink tea? Who told you that tea actually is good for your health?
My mother actually,
How do you know your mom is a credible source?
because she's still here living on today.
All right, okay.
And I don't know if y'all heard what Big Sean said, but Big Sean said something about Western medicine isn't. I'm not gonna say anything because I'm.
So you trust Big Sean?
No, I'm not saying nothing about it, but I'm just saying, Western medicine is a big question mark in today's day and age, But we ain't gonna go there because that's a dark cycle, and I don't want nobody coming to my doorstep, knocking on my doors, and yeah.
Cool.
Hell of an intro. I tell you what you info, but I never really been the type of dude to give no info. But if you see your ends low and you trying to get a benzo, I'll give your ass some game that'll change the way that you think, bro. Super skilled with the pencil, super ill in my mental. I reminisce on life, I'm nice, here's my memento. Get it through your tempo, I get on any tempo and give it all I got. I'm hot, I got like 10 flows, trying to live on the 10th flow. Across from residentials that I own, my mind stay grown. I used to think clothes, I really used to think hoes and what I do to get those, and then I switched it up.
Anyway, why are we here today?
We're here to share with you guys why we even got started in this little area of podcasting.
Do you want to tell them the struggles that we had to go through just to get this episode started today?
Before we begin there, though, let's talk about how this entire idea even came about. I mean, let's talk about that. Even back to when you were at the bar with the young lady who shared with you some magnificent news, and then the following day, of course, I come to your place and we're chopping it up, and sure enough, I dropped this nice idea on him, and when I dropped the idea on him. Thankfully, he didn't hesitate. And the idea was really the podcast.
Well, the reason why I didn't hesitate is because I probably had, let's say, 9 to 10 people tell me that I should start a podcast. Just on my journey, going, interacting with people, meeting people, and just having random conversation with people that I've never seen before. We'll have one-on-one conversation, and it will come down to the point where it's like, hey, yo, have you ever considered doing a podcast or writing a book? And then you came up to me with that idea, and I'm like, you know what? We've been talking about it for the past 2 years. Why not just run with it and actually do it? So, here we are. I'm not expecting much from it, but here we are.
So my question to you is really why now though? You've clearly had people tell you in your past, you had the idea of starting it. Why this moment compared to where you were back in the past when you had that opportunity to do it as well?
I think as I continue to grow, I realize one thing. Fear is one of those things that you need to be able to face. And I've always had the fear to, growing up, one of my biggest fear was public speaking was my biggest fear. And as I kept growing, everything, I can have a wonderful one-on-one conversation with somebody, but when it comes to, being able to put in a larger audience, it becomes an issue. So as I get older and wiser, I understand that it's important to face your fear, because 9 times out of 10, your fear is exactly where you need to be. It's exactly that obstacle that you need to face, because that's the hump that you need to get over. And once that clicked, based on the conversation that I've had with people, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually going to do it, because I've always been a risk taker my entire life. So how can I, be a risk taker my entire life and not actually face the most important thing that's in front of me? Once I made that decision, things changed. And I want people to understand that it's not just for me, it's bigger than that. You know, it's not just gonna help me. The decision that I've made months ago, it's not just gonna help me. It's gonna help the people around me as well, or anybody who listen to this and feel as though this segment is important to them. So I made that commitment. I'm like, you know what? I'm actually gonna tackle this. If I was able to tackle any other obstacle in my life, I should be able to tackle this. So I made that commitment.
And let that really be a true testament to everybody that's listening. You could do the same thing. He went through something that was kind of tough for him to overcome, and sure enough, he overcame it. I mean, again, he mentioned it. And
Did I really overcome it?
You did. You started it. You started the podcast, no? How long were you thinking about it again?
2 years.
It took you 2 years to get over it, but hey, here we are in front of the mic, looking at each other, looking at this computer, speaking into the mic, right?
You know, I actually want to do this for a long time, Mike. I'm not going anywhere.
How long you trying to do this, man?
Until I'm 6 feet under.
Oh, yeah? You know that's a big commitment.
It is a big commitment.
You're now putting it on record.
And I'm gonna put it on record this way. I don't care if I even have only one listener. I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna do it because if I'm able to change one life, I've done my homework in life. Because I know that one person is gonna go out there and do the work that I wasn't able to do. You know, if I can touch one soul, I've done my homework. You know, it's not about, you know, me being able to reach 100 million people, fill out an arena, MSG, whatnot. No, that's not the goal. The goal is if I'm able to improve one person's life, I've done my homework. You know?
Yeah, you got a humble guy over here. You know, I'll be upfront with you. I have those big, lofty goals. That's who I am. And I think I have these big, lofty goals just because I want to see what I'm able to achieve, right? So, for instance, here it mentions that, hey, I want to change one person. I personally want to change 100 people, right? If I could change 100 people, I know those 100 people will then push that narrative forward. And of course, you know, as we all grow in life, we're gonna have different goals, and you know, maybe not even hit certain goals. But I have the big lofty one. So if you got a big lofty goal, you know, hey, shout and scream and let the world know that you got a big lofty goal and you're gonna accomplish that, because that's all it really is. It's, you know, you put it in your mind. And once you put it into your mind, you got to now find a way to go get it.
Yeah, what's a goal without action, right? And that's what we're struggling with right now. I see a lot of identity crisis where people have all these goals they want to accomplish, but are not actually, you know, following through with it. You know, and that's part of why we're here. You know, if you don't know how to go about getting to where you need to get, we can, you know, if we need to connect you with somebody, if we can drop some gem that will help you get over that hump, that's why we're here. You know, we don't want you to just sit on those goals, those dreams, and those aspirations that you have without actually taking action of that. We want you to be out there and make a difference. Exactly. Because by you making a difference, you're helping not just us, not just yourself. We're helping an entire generation, an entire community,
society,
exactly.
The world.
Right.
You know, we're all one, right? Why not help? Excuse me. Why not help the next individual that is looking for this help? And just like Francis just mentioned here, hey, we're here as a resource. This is really why we started this, is because I for myself, being in real estate, having mentors, being around successful people, being at conferences, having friends, having family that is able to support me. I understand that some people just don't have that. And I told Francis too, when I brought it up to him, I told him, I simply said, I was like, yo, I have as many resources around me, and you know, I have people that I can call and reach out to that some people just have no access to. Yes, it is unfair to those individuals, but how is it that I could still give them that voice of that person that, you know, kind of mentioned, you know, whatever they wanted to mention to me, to push that narrative forward, or push your narrative forward, or just help in the end, right? It's all truly indeed about how is it that we're going to push the society? How are we going to push, you know, our community? How are we going to push our family, our friends, you know, those individuals around us? So yes. If you are listening to this and you're like, man, I need to push something forward, and you have a goal yourself that you're trying to push forward and it aligns, please don't hesitate to reach out, because the more people we have on board, the more impact that we'll all have together.
Right. But
I think we kind of got off task there. Let's bring it back to really not even why we're here, but now I guess we can discuss the struggles of getting to this point today. we're able to discuss and talk to everybody. So if you are thinking about starting a podcast, this is probably a great episode for you, because then you're really gonna find out, hey, what we went through, and maybe even find out what some other people went through to get to this point of starting a podcast. Being able to share their ideas, share their thoughts, share whatever it is that they're going through their voice, right? Because this is all a podcast really is. It's just sharing something through your voice to somebody else to help. I would hope to help somebody else.
Well, I don't think it was a struggle. I think it's more of an obstacle that we had to face. It was up to us to either stand on that front and be like, okay, we're going to take it ahead straight, or, back down and say, okay, we can't do this. This is not our avenue. This is not our lane. We don't know anything about podcasting, and just drop the ball. But we decided to actually take this as a challenge and face, anything that came our way, because we knew where we were trying to get. We had this big vision of, okay, we know we can get the message out there. Nothing is going to stop us from doing so. And we were able to, put all the information that we knew, did some research along the way. Yes, it did not pan out as we expected. Nothing is ever going to pan out the way you expected, but we did not back down. And that's a very important, piece there. So yeah, I think it was more of a bump on the road. And we literally went through it like there was no tomorrow. We just sped through it.
As you should. I mean, if you know myself, or if you know Francis, one thing I could definitely share with you guys, just to kind of share with
Nobody knows us.
Nah, there's a few people out there I think that truly do know.
I don't think so.
I ain't gonna name drop them just yet, but they know those.
Talking to me for 2 hours doesn't mean you know me.
I'm not saying those individuals that have been talking to you for 2 hours. I mean, we've been on vacations with a lot of them that know us.
Bro, vacation?
Yes, vacation. Yes, vacation. I mean,
that's a good question. How long does it take for you to actually know somebody? Well, we're going to get into it at some point, but that's just, I want people to reflect on that. How long does it take for you to actually get to know someone and say, okay, that's my friend, that's someone I can trust? Yeah. Just keep on going.
I think it's a personal thing. But to go back to, what I was going to say after, I hope I don't have a brain fart here, but of course, you destroyed my thought.
Of course, I did. That's me.
And then, when he has a thought, I kill his thought. And that's just the way the game goes. But don't worry, we'll get back to it. I think I was going to mention, though, how, we are two individuals where even if there is a bump in the road, you'll learn. All we do is pick up and keep going. I mean, I remember the last time we did that was, I think, in Charlotte, All-Star Weekend. Literally, no intentions of staying in Charlotte, but I was like, you know what? Hey, it looks fun. It looks lit. Let's just stay. And that's part of the goal that we're kind of trying to set here is, even if you have a bump in the road, don't let that bump in the road discourage you from doing anything, because that bump in the road, once you make it around it, man, I tell you, there's a different type of lifestyle. There's a different type of lesson from it that you're going to learn to be able to apply it to whatever else you're going through. But it's more or less, you have to get around it. You have to not even get around it. I say get through it, because once you get through it, there's nothing else that's going to stop you after that.
I think what we face in Vegas was actually more challenging than in Charlotte.
No.
Yes.
Vegas, what?
Because we didn't know we were going to make it to Vegas. We were going for California, right? We were just going for California.
That was easy.
And then we ended up renting out a car to get to Vegas.
That was easy.
But Charlotte, we knew we were going to Vegas. I mean, to Charlotte.
That was, I think Cali was easier. I mean, going to Cali and going to Vegas, I think that personally was easier.
Why?
Because it was just, yes, it wasn't thought out. And mind you, it was just you and I, right? Don't forget, when we were in Charlotte, it was more people. So that changes the spectrum a little bit. You and I already knowing each other, hey, we went to California literally to have fun. We were like, yo, let's go see what Cali's like. All right, hey, you know what? Let's go to Vegas now. Vegas wasn't that far. I mean, it's what? I think it was a 4-hour drive.
4 hours.
Yeah, so it really wasn't that far, but I can't really say that was hard. I really can't, just because it was just a drive. Whereas All-Star Weekend, Charlotte, a bunch of people. I mean, yeah, you good luck finding a room. at a price that you're willing to drop, right? For a premium, essentially, because you're finding it the same day.
But I think that's a good point. That's the beautiful aspect of life. As you're saying, we got to enjoy Charlotte a lot more than we did Vegas. Why? Because we had that courage to face all these obstacles. We never actually had, the mindset of like, yo, can we actually do this? Can we actually sit on this and make it happen?
There was never a time where we questioned it. It was let's fuck it, let's just do it.
But why though? Why do you think that was the case?
That's your character. That's who you are as a person. That's what I think your experiences have taught one to do. So you're not not everybody you're gonna meet is gonna be up and willing to just jump up and run like with you, and that's fine. Some people won't, some people will. So what? You just got to keep going. And if you do have those individuals that run with you, keep running. Don't stop. That's the goal. You don't want to stop running, because the moment you start running, that's when somebody gets comfortable.
So what do you do if you face somebody who has, value to bring to the table, but does not want to take all the risks that come with it? So like in that equation, for example, I'm like, yo, I'm not going to go to Vegas, but I'm going to help you navigate your road all the way to Vegas or to Charlotte. But like, how do you handle somebody with that kind of mindset?
You still got to do what's best for you. Okay, you want to help me? Good, thank you. I appreciate your help, but I'm still going. I'm still going to do it. Just because someone is hesitant of doing anything, why stop yourself? Why limit yourself? That's that person limiting their self. That's that person preventing themselves from getting this experience. Why should that same thing be reflected on you? That's not your choice. You have a goal. You have something set in mind that you want to do. Somebody else doesn't want to do it with you. Hey, fuck it. It's you by yourself anyways. You might as well just run it up and see what comes from it.
That's fair. So as we get to talk about like how we wanted to start this podcast and starting this journey and kind of understanding your mindset going with this, what would you say built you in a way for you to be in this way?
Oh man, my childhood.
Why? Like what happened in your childhood that got you so messed up in the head that you
I wouldn't say messed up in the head. This guy's trying to violate me, man. Be careful now. I wouldn't say messed up in the head. I would say more or less just gave me the strength to really do and learn. I mean, from when I was a child, I mean, I would always put my hand out to help somebody else in my household. I would always figure out how could I help, my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, whoever was around, and just me always trying to help. I think that is what enabled me to always seek for more. And the fact that I seek for more and always enabled me to learn more, always enabled me to see more, do more, be able to accomplish a little bit more. But that's primarily, I think it's just my childhood and me wanting to seek for more, right? Seeking for more information, you're going to get it. You just don't know when you're going to get that information. I mean, I went through college. Shout out to all my UConn people. I went to UConn. I think I graduated in 5 years just because I changed my major. So if you listen to this, don't change your major. Make sure you go into college and you know what you're going to get into, and you know what you want to accomplish, because it's just a waste of time if you switch.
Don't listen to Ron. I'm going to tell you right now. No. I'm going to tell you right now, before you even get to college, before you even go to college, take the time to sit down and actually look at yourself in the mirror. Don't go to college because 10 people in your family went to college. Don't go to college because they say college is the way out. Do it because you actually want to do it. There are things that you're going to learn out of it, but it's not necessarily because you want to go out there. Don't embark into a journey that you're going to look back 10 years down the line and say, hey, I wish I didn't do this. Life is meant to be experienced and enjoyed. And I want you to embark on going through this motion, knowing, okay, I want to do this because this is what I want to do. Follow what your heart is saying. Because as you're doing these things, it's allowing you to grow in your bubble, whatever your bubble is. But just don't do it because so-and-so told you to do it. Of course, you're going to learn from college is cool, it's fun, whatever you're going to do, what you got to do. But don't do it because so-and-so asked you to do it. Do it because that's actually a journey that you want to embark. That's one of those things that I look back nowadays, I did it for different reasons.
Yeah, same here. I did it with a completely different mindset, and I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative that I did it because of that mindset that I had, because it gave me those experiences that I may have needed at that time. Being in my life, but I mean, more of the story is I am who I am today because I've always seeked for knowledge, and I've always done a little. I've always challenged myself to do a little bit more, which is why, again, starting this podcast is a prime example of it. I'm starting something that I really don't have no expertise. I don't know anybody. I know one person who's an audio engineer, but I don't want his help, but I know he's there as a resource. But it's really us just, hey, let's do this. Let's share our words, and let's get the message out. One person cannot change the world, but if you change one person's life, you can change their world. But I'm curious to hear from you, for instance, given your childhood, and what really made you this person who you are today.
Are you asking me what made me who I am today?
Yeah, it's the same question you just dropped on me. It's what? Okay, so instead of looking at your childhood, what made you who you are today? Yeah,
I think it's my journey. It's that simple. All the obstacles that I've had to face along the way built me for who I am today, and I'm grateful for that. I would not ask it to be any other way. I would not be where I am today if it's not for every single thing that I faced along the way. And that's just, I can go into detail and talk about some of the things that I had to encounter, like, coming here to America and experiencing the things that.
When'd you come to America?
2009.
Okay.
Yeah, July 13th, 2009 to be exact.
And you came from where?
China.
If you hear his accent, you know he didn't come from China, so don't let him fool you.
Yeah, so where do you think I came from?
I don't know. You tell the people.
Yeah, they're going to have to hit me up to figure it out. But yeah, so basically coming to America, to me, like, I didn't even speak the language. I didn't speak English when I came here. A lot of my family members, as I was getting ready to come to America, they were telling me, learn the language. It's going to come in handy. Bro, I did not know how even to say, I have a 2-minute conversation with somebody. And it took me 6 months when I came to America to kind of grasp all that. Why? Because I was fortunate enough to be curious when I came and ask questions, and the people that I was surrounded with, I was, always seeking something. And I got what I was looking for. But yeah, it's been a crazy experience, to say the least. Which I'm happy that I had to go through that journey. I'm happy to be here. If you told me 1 year ago that I'll be doing a podcast, I will tell you you're crazy. But there's a reason why this is happening, and I know it's for a greater purpose. It's not just for myself. It's I want to be able to empower others to understand that you can do it. You can do it. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what language you speak. You have the power to impact the world in a positive way, and whatever that is. But you have to get out there and take action. You're not going to do it sitting on your couch playing, GTA or Fortnite, which is cool. You can do it for a couple hours, but you're not going to get over that hump just, doing that on a small spectrum. So, yeah.
So again, I think it's I don't know if you guys see it, but there's a common ground there between, for instance, in myself, he seeked for more. He was curious. It's two individuals that constantly had some sort of idea of, hey, what is on the other side of this, and just being curious, you're gonna find some sort of information, and something should struck some sort of curiosity, interest. And then once you dive deeper into it, you're going to be even more curious to learn a little bit more about it, because it's something brand new. Something that's brand new to you is always going to strike some sort of interest in it. Now, how long that lasts, that's the big question mark. Because then that's the whole nother ballgame that maybe we can tap into later and just figure out, why do we do the things that we do? And us starting this podcast, as we mentioned over and over again, is really just to share the message, share the word, share the good word, I should say, really. To help others and accomplish whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish. Because One thing I do know, and I have something that I've recently learned in the past, I would say a year or so, is if whatever you want, you can't really do it by yourself. It takes a team. It takes at least some sort of a partnership and effort of somebody else's to help you. And yes, you can do it by yourself. I think you can. So it's kind of contradicting myself right now, but you can do it by yourself. It just takes a little bit longer. I'm doing this podcast. I could have done it completely by myself. I didn't have to share this idea and say, hey, Francis.
All right, I'm leaving, guys. It's my time to go.
He's mad. But no, I didn't have to share this idea with him. But it's not something that I truly found joy in doing by myself.
So
I couldn't.
Just to add to that, you're saying, yes, it's possible. There's a lot of things you can do by yourself, but to make the task easier, to make your journey, your path here on earth easier, you have to be able to allocate those tasks that you're not, so strong at to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And that's where it comes to this podcast being so important, is because I really understand that we all have gifts, right? Ron, you have gifts. I have gifts. There's things that I'm good at that you probably will never be good at. There are things that you're great at that I will never be good at. Yeah. And there's things that some of our listeners are great at that, me and you will never be able to touch. We don't even know what it is. So that's why we need to be able to, come together, learn from one another, put our differences aside and say, okay, how can I learn from you? How can I, elevate myself based off of the experiences that you've encountered in life? Because if we're able to touch base in that area, put the ego aside, because that's what's driving this country now on a heavy base. I'm not even going to get into that. But, put the ego aside and try to elevate each other in a way where we can all move in the right direction together. I'm not asking you to give me 100,000 so I can go and blow it out.
Blow it on Gucci or go
right,
get a nice
exactly.
new Mercedes.
Cool.
We're going to Turks and Caicos or what?
But I'm gonna tell you this: we all had the same beginning. We all gonna have the same end. You were born and you're gonna die. What are you doing between that beginning and that end? That's the journey. That's the beautiful part right there. Are you enjoying that journey as you're going through it? Or are you just wasting your time here, doing things that are meaningless? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind when you're gone? So those are the kind of questions we need to be asking ourselves as we're elevating ourselves through, this journey of life.
I'm curious though, what kind of challenges did you face when, the idea of the podcast was brought up to you?
I didn't face any challenges. Like I said, my biggest fear was public speaking. So being able to get on a mic and actually talk to people was one of those things where I sat down. I'm like, can I do it? When I got over the hump and say, it's not about can I do it, the message is more important than my ability to do it. That's when I realized, what? I'm just going to do it. Because this message, me being able to share what I know, is more important than my fear.
Yeah, I think the one thing I would definitely say for myself was really, am I able to sustain and do this for a very long period of time? Because now anything that I start, I don't want to stop. And that's kind of like my mindset of starting anything. And I put that in my mind because if you're able to start something and you give it time for it to grow, you don't really know what it's going to be. So you have to truly indeed, if you're going to start something, you got to give it time to grow. So I've put in my head, is it as a challenge, is this something that you are going to do for a very long time? Now, that very long time is up to you to decide. I have my definition of very long time, and that's 10 years, to be honest with you. So I identify and decide, what
6 feet under.
Damn. He did say that earlier, that he's going to be doing this till he's 6 feet under. Well, let's see. He said it. He said it. I said it. So you guys can see the horizon.
There's a reason why I said that, though. Sorry to interrupt you, but there's a reason why I said that, because there's nothing, there's no material that I can give you that would allow you to walk through this journey of life better than the knowledge that I have. I can give you 100,000 right now. You're going to blow it. Yes, you might invest it, whatever, all the knowledge that you have, but The reason why you're going to spend that money wisely is because of the knowledge that you have, not because of the money. So if I can give you some knowledge, if I can share something with you that'll allow you to walk through this journey easily, I've done my homework.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about the money. You're going to get the money regardless.
So you still gonna give me that 100?
Nah,
or what?
bro.
Come on, you can't talk like that.
Nope.
And say I'm gonna give you 100 and not actually give me 100. Like,
Yeah, you got to work for it.
don't worry, I'll wait for my day for you to drop 100 at my doorstep.
Yeah.
It will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen.
Sure.
And all right. But I would definitely say, I mean, outside of just our own personal things, one thing that we did face with a challenge with starting this podcast
Dog,
was researching.
I'm ready to go home.
Was to
I'm home, but I'm ready to go home. Think about that. I'm home, but I'm ready to go home.
learning this is definitely a learn. The learning curve is everything. So that's why we emphasize a lot, man. If you know somebody that's already in this area, that's already doing it, learn from them as much as you can. Because I mean, we have some few challenges. Granted, those challenges they were cake. They were like I've dealt with worse. So it was easy to get over. It's time consuming. That's the thing that I think it's a burden. It's something that's just so time consuming to the point where you gotta figure it out. Because again, if this is something you truly indeed want to do, you only got one way to figure it out, and that's to actually do it.
Yeah, actions. You have to take action for the things that you know and go out there and make mistakes. It's through mistakes that you're gonna learn. And we made a lot of mistakes along the way just to get to this point, but that did not stop us.
What's one of them?
I guess the one of the biggest mistakes is thinking that, at least for me, I don't know about you, but for me, I thought it was gonna be a breeze. We're like putting this thing together should be a piece of cake, just like you see it on TV. But hey, it was challenging. Just being able to edit certain pieces and getting the right equipment, knowing what you're getting, and all that kind of stuff is not that easy.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful part about life. We were uniquely created to be special in our own way, and that's what makes us. There are someone out there who knew that, hey, this is what you need to get. This is what you get. But it's not my homework to know that, because that's not my gift.
Yeah, like you've had people actually tell you before, like, yo, start a podcast. You knew you should. You do it. I've only actually. I'm not harassed. It's you just. I'm speaking the truth. One thing I've had people tell me, man, you speak really good, and X, Y, and Z. But I've never had anybody say to come to me, he's like, yo, you should start a podcast.
Didn't I tell you about the guy that called me Black Jesus? But we're not gonna get into it. Yes.
Be careful what you say now,
yes. Man. Yes. And I told him, nah, bro, that's not me. I appreciate it, but I'm far from that. I'm just a human being like you are. But yeah.
But here we are. We got it up. We got it going. I'm sure this is not gonna be any less of the challenges we're gonna face along this journey. We got plans. We got missions. We got goals. And we're going to keep pushing until we get there. Are you going to help us? Are you going to help us or not? And if you are, make sure you go ahead and tell your friends, tell your family, tell your cousins, tell your baby moms, whoever.
I think we need to make this clear from the beginning. It's not going to be like any other podcast you've listened to. I'm sure you've heard that before. This is an open book. For those who have my phone number, for those who have us on IG, whatever you have to say, feel free to say it. This is not a marketing campaign. Nobody here. I'm not running for president. Ron is not running for president. You get what I'm saying? So it's an open book. We want you to be able to be part of this journey. It's walk and grow. We want to walk with you, and grow together.
Again, we're here for y'all, man. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm good, but I have great people around me to make sure I'm good. So it's are you going to enable us to help you be good as well? Especially if you don't have that core system around you. We're truly doing this for you, man. Let us help you. That's it. So you know where to find us. You know where to see us. If you don't follow us personally on IG already, make sure to follow our
Don't
Instagram
follow me.
page.
Follow your goals.
Follow the Instagram page. Stop interrupting.
Follow
me
your
and say-
goals. Don't listen to Ron. Follow your
That too.
goals.
Definitely follow your goals.
Follow your purpose in
Nah,
life.
You have to. You have to find that though. That's an entire.
And how do you find that?
That's an entire
Yeah,
another episode.
I'm not gonna touch
I'm
it
not
today.
getting in that right now. Absolutely.
They're not ready for us.
Nah.
It's too much.
Woo! Finding your goals. I'm gonna drop one question on you though. Not on you, just as the listener. Just listen. Hear me out though. What makes you unique? Cut the mic.
Did you just...
Cut the mic.
Cause I know the life I want, I'm just setting it up. Removing those that's close who try messing it up. Can't wait for champagne toast with the relevant bunch. Like what's up? Yeah. Like what you do, homie? What's your vision? How you thinking? How you move, homie? And is you cool, homie? You thinking building, then that's something we could do, homie.